What's up, YouTube peeps? It's your boy Kirk here, man. I'm just, I had a coworker of mine, man, sparked my interest on this little thing they call flat Earth. And, honestly, my initial reaction was, dude, come on, man, tell me you're not one of those people, right? Because, I've heard of these guys, flat Earth people and all, and, I just always assumed that they were insane, right? But he showed me some kind of phenomenon while we were at work, where we work outside mostly, and he pointed to the sky, and you can see the sun and the moon basically during the day right next to each other. And he was like, man, you see that? He's like, you see that? That's not possible if the Earth was, a globe. And he kind of piqued my interest. I'm not gonna lie. I started looking into this stuff, started researching it. You can research a lot of this stuff on YouTube. And most of these guys will tell you the same thing I'm about to tell you, is they're pretty skeptical. They research it for a long time before they actually really start buying into it. But in reality, everything you research on YouTube about the flat Earth makes sense. It actually makes more sense than the theory of evolution, for example. Is ridiculous. I don't know how many Christians are left in the world. Honestly, I kind of lost my faith for a long time. But then, to be honest with you, this flat Earth thing actually kind of re-energized my faith in Christianity and God and stuff, because it's backed up biblically. And so if you think the Bible is crazy, bunch of BS, then I get that. That's cool. That's reasonable, right? But I mean, if you are going to sit there and tell me that a big bang happened out of nowhere for no reason, and the Earth magically spun into existence just a perfect distance from the sun to sustain life, and that life was created from a rock, and then a rock all of a sudden, produced a single-celled organism, and that turned into a fucking fish, and that fish sprouted legs, millions of years in the making, by the way. And then all of a sudden that fish man, or fish monkey, I guess is what it started off as, or dog or anything. I mean, Darwin, it's all based on Darwin, Charles Darwin. People sit there and discredit, biblical teachings and the Bible and stuff because of Charles Darwin, who, let's face it, man, was a fucking weirdo. And it's like, okay, everything Darwin said is you're going to take as absolute fact. And the irony is we teach this stuff in schools to our kids as fact. And so my thing is, how do we know Darwin knew what the fuck he was talking about? I'm not convinced. To be honest, it's called the theory of evolution, man, because you can't prove any of this shit. Nobody can prove the sun is 93 million miles away. And I'm going to tell you something else, man. We did not go to the fucking moon. If anybody believes that bullshit, they're insane. Because NASA showed some fucking space footage. 1969, we went to the fucking moon? Really? I mean, come on, people. Use your fucking brain, man. Because we didn't even have cell phones in 1969. We'd barely even invented planes in 1969. We've just been flying around for like 20, 30 years in planes. And all of a sudden we're going to leave the Earth's atmosphere in 1969? And then haven't been back in like 50 years. I'm like, come on, man. I don't know. And you look at the footage and it just seems, it just seems like fucking a hoax, honestly. That's what really got me thinking about this shit. So anyway, I'm honestly, man, the more I research this shit, and I'm doing this on independent thought, I'm not, some jackass that just believes everything I hear, I was really a firm, individual in being against the fucking flat Earth, because I thought these people gotta be fucking ridiculous. Surely, man, NASA says the world's round, surely they're not lying. Why would they fucking lie, right? But in reality, man, the more I research, the more it makes sense. And, I'm almost regretfully saying this. I honestly think my life would be easier if I just kept on believing that we're on a spinning fucking globe in the middle of a never-ending universe. I'd probably get less shit, but I gotta come out, man. I gotta come out and say, I think the fucking world's flat, man. And if anybody does any kind of independent, open-minded research, they're going to say the same fucking thing. Whether or not you're you believe in God and Christianity and all that shit, man. Whether or not you believe any of that stuff, and like I say, I mean, I grew up in the church and religious and all that stuff, and I kind of got away from it. You know, did a lot of drugs and caught myself opening up my mind. You know, but in reality, man, I'm sitting here now telling you that they lied to us. You know, and why is hard exactly to prove or to make sense of. Why would our governments lie to us? I mean, you know, honestly, the obvious reason is money. Of course, they're gonna fucking, you know, they need money to sustain and they want to stay in power. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know. I'm gonna delve more into this later, but I'm sorry, people, but I've got to say, man, that, you know, through my independent research and critical thinking abilities, I have, you know, concluded that these flat Earth people are onto something. Yeah, you know, I'm still like probably 90. I'm probably only about 98% sure that the Earth's flat. I'm not 100% convinced, you know, because you know, I've still got some more research I want to do and look into this. There's still some things that I really don't want to believe it, to be honest. It's that cognitive dissonance, you know, they talk about in some of these flat Earth videos. Is what you've been told your whole life, and then, you know, now, like, you know, I was told when I was a kid that Santa Claus was real. Santa Claus brought me Christmas presents. So I'm posting this video on Christmas Day to kind of, you know, show a correlation between how what we're told when we're kids is not always what is reality when we get older, man. And I think, you know, instead of your parents, you know, think of the government as your daddy. You know, it's like government. You know, if your own parents lie to you about Santa Claus, why wouldn't the government lie to you about fucking space travel? Anyway, so yeah, guys, I fucking encourage each and every one of you to research this shit on your own. I mean, all this shit can be researched and tested and yada yada yada, but I mean, from what I've seen so far, man, flat Earth literally makes more sense than a fucking globe. It really does. There's no such thing as space. Space is bullshit. We never landed on the fucking moon. That much I'm sure of. You know, so look into it for yourself. Fuck, don't take my word for it.